Welcome to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Braylon Edwards, touchdown, Michigan. Running pattern to Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
Where we bring you the best in sports, entertainment, and insight. Join us every weekday from 2 to 4 p.m. as we break down the latest games, analyze the biggest plays, and dive into the hottest topics in sports. We'll have exclusive interviews with your favorite athletes and guests, and you'll get a front row seat to all the action. So tune in to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Got one-on-one going end zone. Edwards in the air. Oh, what a catch by Braylon Edwards. His second touchdown of the game.
On the Woodward Sports Network, where sports comes to life.
Yes. You see it on the back wall. Can't wait to talk about it. It was an amazing weekend for Team USA. But before we get there, I say thank you to the people. How you guys doing? Hope you had a great weekend. Braylon Edwards Show with Shep. I'm the host, Braylon Edwards. And there's the man, the myth, the legend. Smash Shep.
Is that new?
You said what?
Is that new?
What, the shirt?
You got another little shade of green on. It's an interesting.
Okay, see this one.
You said this last week. That's the only reason I bring it up.
100%. At least this one is blue, green with a little tan in there. My Seahawks roots, if you will.
Okay.
So I threw a little Seahawk love out there. You know, I'm trying to stray away from all the Michigan State love that everybody's trying to give me for wearing green. This is Seahawk, green and blue, if you will. Great weekend, man.
Happy belated.
I appreciate that. I mean, you guys told me happy birthday a million times, so I appreciate you 100%. Before we get to
happy birthday, bro.
I appreciate you, Kool-Aid. Appreciate you, Cam. Who's
we had a good time.
Well.
I mean, I know it was
Friday,
limited, but it was really fun. Yeah,
I want to start
really
Friday before we get into what's happening Saturday. I just want to say, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, these three took the man, the myth, took me out. We went on down the street. We had some drinks. We watched a little bit of Team USA. The women were just finishing up winning when we got there, so it was a fun time. We shared some stories.
You saved a woman's life? Yeah.
I forgot all about that, to be honest.
Did you really?
Well, 100%.
So just so people are aware, somebody was overserved at the establishment.
That's a way to put it.
Yeah, that's a polite way to put it.
And when you try to back up a chair, sometimes you might want to make sure you can find your ground before you back the chair up. This person couldn't do either. And while Cam, Kool-Aid, and I were in mid-sentence, for Cam it was mid-bite of a chicken wing. For me it was mid-sip of a cold one. And for Kool-Aid it was always keeping his eye out. Braylon was up and out like it was a 5-yard out pattern needing a first down at the Meadowlands.
You saw how fast
it was behind
He
me.
almost caught her. He almost caught her. And he said, whoa. And this hulking guy is over this woman who is, I'm surprised she didn't spit up on you. But either way, he was able to find a way to get her to her feet. Yeah. Cam guided her into the bathroom and passed her off.
Shout out.
And then Braylon was gone for a period of time. And apparently they felt like Braylon could go home with him at some point.
You know what happened also, too, is so after Cam walks her into the restroom, she's there with her people. They're doing the whole song and dance. I got up to use the bathroom, and when I was coming out of the bathroom, they were on their way out, the lady and her friend. The friend was the drunk one, if you will. Excuse me, sorry, put your business out here. Not a name. Her friend legitimately is like, hey, here, watch her. I'm about to go get the car. I was like, first of all, I didn't come with you guys. Second of all, my name is Braylon. Third of all,
how about a please?
There you go. You know where I was going. I was like, how about a please? But I held her up for as long as I could.
Very
she
nice
came
of you.
helped her in the car. But appreciate you guys for taking me out, man. And
he didn't lean her against the wall. He didn't lean her against the wall.
No house
like
party.
This and then kind of leave. There was no house party here. Okay, there was no cameras moving. All right. He did what a good Samaritan would do. The rest of us, I'm not going to lie. I think I ordered another beer. I had another wing. And I said, I'm sure Braylon's got this. And we moved on. But it was a very enjoyable night with three good friends. And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a good weekend, too, man. I know there's so much to get into as it relates to the world of sports. I would just say this Friday night, Brittany took me out dinner. It was amazing. We were right here to an establishment, close, if you will. Steakhouse was pretty good, man. We enjoyed our time. I appreciate her for thinking that much of me to take me out. And then Saturday, more of the same. My mom, my sister, they put on event at the house, invited some people over that I hadn't seen in a while. I added some people that I hadn't seen in a while. It was good to see. Check on friends. Like, check on friends. I think so often now we get caught up in our own life, which is fair. But if friends are friends for a reason. If you don that term, you're a friend. You're a best friend. You're like a brother. If you say these things over years, make sure you check on these people because just like you, they can get stuck in there. You know what? Sometimes they need an arm to pull them up out of there.
They need you.
Yeah, 100%.
It's okay to admit
and
that.
we need them too.
Yeah, I was just going to say,
Yeah.
for some reason in our society, I think it has more to do with males than anything else. It's
Yeah, you ain't
okay
lying.
to say, I need something, or I could use somebody's help in this regard. We are so damn stubborn at times. It's okay to just reach out and say, hey, help me with this, will you? It could be the simplest thing, but sometimes it's the most important thing.
Yeah, but I will say this, man. Like, I appreciate my parents. I appreciate everybody that took the chance to be a part of my life and come over to the house and continue to share in the story. My mom, you know how I feel about mom. She's my rock. You know, she provided. She brought the people out. She made sure the food was prepared. She made sure people got the invite. She made sure that I knew that I was special. So, love you, Mom. I appreciate that. And I appreciate everybody that came over. My father, my stepmom, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins. Because you can easily say no. I have something to do. But they made the time.
Did Mom cook for everybody?
For me. She made it. Yeah, she made gumbo.
Okay, where
my
is
sister
it?
made steak bites.
I'm sorry. Did that come out loud? I'm sorry.
I actually didn't even get a lot of gumbo because I didn't eat much Saturday night, and then I didn't stay there.
That would be nice if you had some leftovers and brought it here.
it
I'm
would-
sorry. Did I say that out loud?
Oh, you know what? It'd have been nice if there were leftovers. Because when I got back to the house Sunday, I was like,
Man, gumbo is just some
steak bites. Jay made steak bites.
But the gumbo has me captivated, man. I mean, first time I ever had gumbo was at Louisiana. No, Lafayette, Louisiana, for a college football game, and that was their media meal, and I kept eating it. And my analyst said to me, "Hey, man, you might want to slow down. That has a tendency to sometimes upset the internal portion of one's body."
You ain't lying.
And I said,
Did you add any hot sauce to it, or was it already spicy?
No, I did not add
so
hot
smart
sauce
move.
to it.
Smart move.
My response was, I don't care. I'll live with those consequences later.
Yeah,
that's how I feel about
those
it
3 in the
just about
morning.
every
Those 3 in the morning stops.
Yeah.
They're a little painful.
Suddenly you're waking up. You're like, why did I do that? And then you have it in front of you and you say, this is why I do it, because it's that good, right?
Yeah, speaking of
Shrimp and sausage and, man, the chicken, everything. Oh, my God.
Yeah,
It's so
so
damn good.
it was amazing Saturday. It was amazing Friday. Sunday kind of relaxed a little bit. You know, I'm 43, not as young as I used to be, so it was a slower morning. If you catch
Slower
my
recovery?
drift on,
Okay.
there you go. On Sunday, it was a slower process, if you will. And Shep, my Sunday led me to forget, due to having a good time and relaxing and chilling. I forgot there was a certain important game that came on Sunday.
Oh,
and,
my goodness.
And when I realized what game was on and what time it was, Shep, they were already celebrating.
No kidding. You
Don't
missed the
worry,
whole thing?
I went back and watched the.
Oh, I bet you did.
Yeah, I went back and watched it, but I missed it live. But to see that celebration, I caught, which I think were the most important moments.
Yeah, I thought it was super special. I mean, I usually when I watch, even my favorite
USA.
teams. Yeah,
USA.
Even when I watch my favorite teams, I don't. I try not to get too emotional with it, because you can ride that wave a little bit. But after Jack Hughes scored, I couldn't help but stand up and high five all the people I was watching it with. It was awesome. I love the way that team represented the sport, their country, and the entire Olympic theme and feel. And to have Michigan as well represented. Made me feel like it was even just brought a bigger smile on my face.
Yeah, just so we're represented, whether it was the women, whether it was the men, whether it was coaches, whether it was players, whether it was grandsons, it was just so much. And I think the overall message is family.
Yeah.
Like that's what it seemed like when you're talking about Team USA, especially as it relates to hockey, which for us, or for me, it saved the Winter Olympics. But when you're thinking about it, it's the Hughes brothers, the Eichel brothers, the Nelson, who is the grandson, whose father, his uncle was on the 1980 team. His grandfather was on the 1960 team.
Yeah.
Like it was just family, and it was USA, and it was fun and beautiful to watch, and everybody contributed.
Yeah, I agree. There were so many different storylines.
Yeah.
But it really made you fall in love. You don't have to love the sport, but you don't have to love the sport. But you can love the people who represent it, the toughness that they put on display, and the togetherness that they have. You can relate because you have people to this day that are your brothers because you guys experienced certain things in your sport, right? You know what it was like to have each other's back. You know what it's like to support one another. You know what it's like to prepare, to go through that typical grind. And so that most people cannot relate to. But these guys, whether it's the Kachuk brothers or the Hughes brothers, whatever, for us not to have thought, like I thought Canada was going to win. I'll be blatantly honest. I thought it was going to be a close game. I wasn't like a bunch of the Canadians who thought this was going to be a blowout. I thought it was going to be a close game, but I thought Canada had the skill, especially up front, while the U.S. was better on the back end, and I told you that.
Yeah, you did.
However, there were too many things that pointed toward a U.S. win. It's the anniversary, the 46th anniversary of the Miracle on Ice.
The day of.
The day of. Yeah. Exact date, okay? And it was also the birthday of Johnny Gaudreau's son. He turned 2 years old yesterday, and he was at the game, and Johnny Gaudreau is seen. I mean, you talk about a brotherhood, and that's what Jack Hughes talked about. All of them talked about U.S. hockey brotherhood. That is part of it. To have a guy who had lost his life to a drunk driver 2 years ago when he was getting ready for his sister's wedding the next day, and he and his brother killed, and their parents losing two sons on the same day, being there and seeing those players immediately go get his jersey while being draped in the American flag and bringing it out onto the ice, having a picture with it, then having the wherewithal of saying, you know what, I'm going to get his two kids. It choked me up, man. I was bawling through that entire time. Whether you like the player or whether you like the team or whether you like the sport, that is what togetherness, brotherhood, and friendship, I thought, really is all about.
And that's what the difference is when you're talking about the Olympics and you're talking about representing your country. You know, for me playing the NFL, which isn't an Olympic sport, yes, you're right. I got brothers on the team. Brothers have gone through training camp and two-a-days and all those things and bad plays and adversity and coaches getting fired and getting traded. All of that's is true. You go through those things and you figure it out and you have that tight-knit bond. But when you're talking about representing your country, it's a different thing. One of my friends is Michael Phelps, and I asked him right around the time we first –
shout out.
100. Shout out
Greatest
to Mike.
Olympian of all time.
1,000%. I asked him when we first met. He's coming back off of Athens in 2004. And I said, like, what's it like representing your country? It's one thing just I'm representing a city or I'm representing a school or He said, I've never known a feeling like it. He said, when you represent your country, each move you make, you understand who you're repping. You understand what's the cost. If you win, what's the cost? If you lose. He said, when I'm in practice, couple more reps because I know what I'm representing. He said, it's never a day where I can say, I'll take today off. He said, because it's for the country. He was 18. Yeah. He was 18 when he had this sentiment. But watching Team USA is fun, especially watching Miracle on Ice, especially watching the documentary again recently. There's a different element of brotherhood when you talk about Team USA hockey because it's been built out of not being good enough or being the seconds or being the thirds or having to fight to even, be a representation of the sport or to be even taken exactly or just be taken serious. 1980 was like, you don't even take it serious. Yeah. And now you start to take it serious. And then you haven't gotten back since 1980. And everyone on that team, from assistant coaches to staff to the players, understand what that energy is. So they have a type of brotherhood, a type of tight-knit bond that it even extends all other sports or all other players or all other teams in the Olympics because theirs is just that much special.
I can't help but wonder.
That much more special.
I can't help but wonder how many kids' lives they've touched. Like young kids are watching that, like in 1980. The U.S. was so far behind in this sport where most of, I would say, over 80% in the NHL were Canadian. Now it's 40% Canadian, 30% the United States, and maybe a little bit higher, maybe like 32%. But either way, that is a massive jump from which it came back in 1980.
Hockey Town USA had a lot to do with that.
It inspires teams. It does. Yeah. It inspires. I think it's the Miracle on Ice had the most to do with it. Wayne Gretzky going to Los Angeles was the second most impactful thing. Okay,
That's a great call.
but to see all this happen and to have people come together and say, you know what, I get it. I get the connection. I do wonder just a little bit, how does Connor Hellebuyck, who was the best player on the ice in the entire Olympics, go to Winnipeg, a team that's a couple of games under 500, and create the same type of feeling and inspiration? How does Jack Hughes, who had his golden goal, go to New Jersey, who's 2 games over 500 and out of the playoffs right now? How do you pick up and try to recreate that emotional feeling after such an emotional high, going to a team that doesn't possess nearly the same talent, but nor are you playing for anything close to what you just played for?
Unfortunately, you can't. And I'm glad you brought up Connor Hellebuyck, because that's where I was going to go next is, ladies and gentlemen, I spent a little bit of time at Wall Lake Northern. My good friend's son, starting quarterback, shout out to Braden Valou. Next time I go to that school, I'm going to make sure I stop on the inside, and I'm going to make sure I have a conversation with the athletic director as well as the principal and get that statue up for Connor Hellebuyck right away.
Yeah.
He needs a statue outside of Wall Lake Northern. That's all I'm saying.
You could argue it was the best goalie performance
Ever.
in a gold medal game ever.
41 and 42. You don't even have to understand the game to understand what that is. 41 and 42 in a gold medal
casuals
game
know.
with 1,000%. 41 and 42 in a gold medal game with all the chips on the line, and a team that is favored to beat you, and you're stopping everything moving.
Yeah.
Side note, I know we're going to do ballers and bums later.
Yeah.
And I'll save who's a bum, but I didn't appreciate Canada's coach.
Yeah, John Cooper.
I didn't appreciate John Cooper. Shocker, John Cooper would say something I didn't like. Shout out to Ohio State.
I do wonder what kind of reaction he may get in Tampa, if it matters. But to your point, Hellebuyck finished 5 wins, okay? So they won 6 games. He won 5 of them. Remember, he rested, so he won 5 of them. His goals against average was 1.18. His save percentage, which I think is more important, is over 95.5. That is unheard of, okay? And he was, I thought, and every player said it, and this is what I love most about what those guys were saying. It's okay to admit he was our best player. You don't have to sit there and say, I scored a goal, I was the best player. I had an assist, I was the best player. It was, that guy was our best player tonight, and everybody should know it. And then to see them, it's not just a phrase. When you talk about USA Hockey Brotherhood, it's not just a phrase. When people are questioning Austin Matthews and saying, what do you think you've proven? Because that's the Canadian media, because he's the captain of the Maple Leafs, and they've been disappointing. And he says, look, I'm trying to live in the moment. The other 2 guys lean in. They grab the microphone. You didn't ask me the question, but here's what I'm going to give you. He's a winner. He's an Olympic champion, and you can't take it away from him. I love that stuff.
Yeah, that was Canada. That was them trying to throw some jabs, if you will, because they're mad that they lost. Shep, I just want to ask you one question, and then we can stick on the positive side of things. Mm-hmm. How much of this, when you look at it, was like, Sidney Crosby didn't play? Because I heard that a little bit, and I didn't like it.
I agree. I don't like making excuses for teams because it feels like you're taking away from another team. Right. So you've got guys out there. There's a reason they made the Olympics. They're among the 20 best players your nation has to offer. So do I think it was a factor?
Yes.
And anytime you take away arguably the greatest two-way center in the history of the sport, yeah, for sure. He didn't use it as an excuse, but I think fans were using it as an excuse. The other excuse was by the Canadian head coach, who doesn't like the format. And my frustration with that is you knew the format. You knew the format going in. You used the format to your advantage against the Slovaks. And you had the 3 best players in the world on the ice for that moment. Yeah. There is nobody better than Connor McDavid. He leads the NHL, the greatest league in the world, in points. There's nobody better than Nathan MacKinnon. He leads the greatest league in the world in goals and plus-minus. And there's no better defenseman in the world than Cale Makar. They were all on the ice against Dylan Larkin, Zach Werenski, and Jack Hughes. And you lost.
Also, too.
Shut the F up.
It wouldn't matter who was on the ice because 41 or 42 doesn't change.
Yeah, right.
Like 41 or 42 doesn't change. Oh, by the way, don't forget about that 5-on-3 for a minute and 33
Thank you.
seconds.
Yep.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the brother that said that.
Right. Or the Devontae's opportunity right there, and he somehow gets his stick to steer it aside. It's just, you're right. No sense in dwelling on the negative. The positive is this is it's not even a rebirth, quite honestly. Like the people who are surprised at this, keep this in mind as you move forward. The U.S., in 2025, they won the World Junior Championships. In 2025, they won the Men's World Championships. In 2026, women took gold, and so did the men. That is not
Never happened
a fluke.
before.
Never happened. Never happened in the same Olympics. That is not a fluke, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not saying it's become this country's sport. You don't replace the NFL and Major League Baseball. But it's becoming more influential. Here's my question. So I have a couple of them for you that I want everybody to participate, including you in the chat, and smash that like button.
I was going to say, I do have the super chat I want to just read real quick. As I put the back wall up.
Saw that take time.
$20 super chat from LeBartney. He says, shout out all of the Michigan girls and guys who rocked the Olympics.
Look at that.
Shout out.
Shout out.
So look at this.
1,000%.
So here's what we got. We've got Megan Keller, who attended North Farmington High School. That Go Raiders. Dylan Larkin from Waterford. Zach Wierenski, Grosse Pointe. Jack Hughes there. Should also be Quinn Hughes there from Canton. Right. And Connor Hellebuck from Commerce, who went to Walled Lake Northern, right?
Yeah.
So all very cool stuff. In addition to that, there are other players who attended or lived in Michigan for a period of time. Matt Boldy did, but he's from Massachusetts. They want to claim him. That's fine. They should. Like my wife's cousin texted me and says, hey, this is who you guys got and so on and so forth. I guess we also have Connor Hellebuck because he played at UMass Lowell. And I said, Steven, that's a stretch. Take that back. I said, why don't you just be happy? You got Matt Boldy and some of these other guys. He's like, okay, fair enough, right? Charlie McAvoy if you want, okay? Because he's a Boston Bruin. Anyway, fantastic stuff. 2, 4, 5. You got Quinn Hughes as in 6. And then Kyle Connor, Michigan Wolverine, who is also in that mix, 7. That's 7, by the way, all in hockey.
Two things you love about the Olympics, man. One, it's always the closest countries are going to be together. Mm-hmm. Like, legitimately, like, country is united when the Olympics are going on, whether it's the Summer Olympics or the Winter Olympics. Mm-hmm. Like, everybody's talking, everybody's cheering, everybody's asking questions, even if they don't even know the sport. Like, I'm always cheering for sports and people that I don't know, but I know what they represent, and that's this country, which I'm a part of.
Yeah.
So it's always fun to watch those things, to be a part of those things. And then just the moments, too. You talk about moments, and you asked the question in the chat, earlier, and I don't know if it's time for it, but that moment for me, you just talked about, will be the goal that wasn't. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what I remember most of that game, was Connor Hellebuck stopping that goal that wasn't.
Yeah, love that. Kool-Aid, what was the moment for you in that game? Because there were a lot of them.
Yeah.
But that's the greatest save in U.S. hockey history. So there's nothing wrong with that.
For me, it was kind of like everything involved as well. Seeing the save and seeing the fellows on the live stream. Shout out to Justin and Spinny, who put on a fabulous live stream here. I know D-Mac was in the building too. It was like kind of the energy of all of that. It was just epic, man. It was just overall epic.
Cam, what was the moment for you in that game?
The moment for me really was the combination of the celebration, the medal ceremony, and then the photos there at the end there. And you had spoken on it earlier, the Goudreau tribute, Larkin, Kachuk bringing out their kids. All that stuff was just so touching, and I had to wipe my eyes also.
Mm-hmm.
Before you give yours, Shep, I know I always go back to Mighty Ducks when it comes to hockey, but sometimes I just have to, Shep. It's fun.
Yeah.
Whenever you watch the Mighty Ducks story, it's always, maybe that's the Team USA story, it's always, we shouldn't have won, but we did.
Yeah.
Like, whenever USA wins, it's like, oh, we shouldn't have won, the Russians should have won. Oh, we shouldn't have won, the Canadians would have won. Maybe they would have won if they had, no, they wouldn't have. Reminds me of Mighty Ducks. In the first one, they had no business beating the Hawks, and they did in overtime. In part 2, they had no business beating Sweden or whatever the hell it was, and they did. Mm-hmm. But it's always the gold medal, or it's always after when you're watching. When you watch Canada, and congrats to them, when you watch them get their medals, you just see disappointment.
Yeah.
And you see you pissed off, and you see them staring across at USA like, we're better than you. We should have beat you guys. But they didn't say it. They kept it reserved, they kept it respectful, and they kept it classy. Fast forward, I did watch that part, Shep. When you're watching these guys get their medals and you're watching that excitement, guys sharing stories, how much it takes. Like, you know how much work you have to put in to win a gold medal in any sport, especially a team sport. So to watch those guys, like Cam said, receive the gold medals, have the honors, go get Goudreau's jersey, the whole 9 yards, and then when they get on the podium and they're singing the national anthem, and you realize that the national anthem is representing your countries, representing your players that have put on a hell of a show for the last 2 weeks, Cam, you might be right. Like, that was the moment. And watching that,
and
that was
that's real, by the way. That is so real. Yeah. That is not choreographed or anything. His jersey has been. His jersey was at the Four Nations. His jersey was there because they knew he would be there, and they are truly a brotherhood, especially with him, because they knew he would have been part of that team. So, and I think the other things, for sure, the moment for me was when Dylan Larkin and Zach Werenski, the two Michigan guys, go and get Johnny Gaudreau's kids. I mean, to see them skate back out there was just incredibly moving to me. But I don't think Bill Guerin gets enough credit. And Bill Guerin is the man who put the team together. He received a lot of negative feedback when he originally put the team together. He thought many people thought Cole Caulfield should be on it. They thought Jason Robertson should be on it. And I understand that. I do. But he didn't put together an all-star team. The easy thing to do, and this shows you, how important it is to be able to play with one another. The easy thing to do is just go down the list. Who are the top scorers with American heritage? He didn't do that. He put guys together he thought would fit, like a J.T. Miller. I heard a podcast from a Canadian-based team over the weekend where they said, "Oh, the Americans, we're gonna beat their ass." And he said, because they got what do they have? The Kachuk brothers. Oh, they can fight. Well, that's not true. They fought in the Four Nations, but that's not who they are. Yeah, you can't fight in the Olympics, otherwise you're out for a game. Okay, so they didn't do that. They're more than that. They're a physical presence. They built that team. I think Bill Guerin did, to combat the talent, the toughness, and the skating ability of Canada. The defensemen for Team USA were extremely mobile, and they had guys who were willing to sacrifice for the betterment of the team. Yeah. A J.T. Miller is a good example of that. Doesn't have to be your leading scorer. He just plays a certain role. Dylan Larkin, willing to accept that certain role. It should remind you a little bit of what the Pistons do right now. The Pistons are accepting of roles. They are willing to sacrifice for that guy and that guy and this guy. Every one of these guys, whether they lost to Chicklin or not, did the same damn thing for their team. They were willing to sacrifice anything they could, lay out their body. McAvoy with a block in the middle, right? Hellebuck reaching back. Jack Hughes jumping into the play, taking a chance, and Zach Werenski bumping off one of the greatest players in the world right now, in Nathan McKinnon, to make an incredible pass that led to the golden goal. It's beautiful.
That's one thing about hockey, man, and we've talked about it, time and time again, as it relates to DMAC, as it relates to just what it is. It's the most selfless sport of the four, in my opinion. It's the most selfless. You talk about knowing the role. You talk about knowing that role. Hockey, I think they get it done on a consistent. If you look at the 30 teams in hockey, I think there's more team play and more understanding of a role in hockey than there is in any other sport.
Yeah. Probably has to be, but I think it's True. A good point. Probably has to be. And the difference in hockey, that the better team doesn't always win. And I'm not saying Canada was a better team, because look at the final score. But one guy makes a massive difference. There's only two sports where I think that's totally true. Like, you can have a great quarterback. You have a great quarterback. Patrick Mahomes, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Kansas City missed the playoffs.
No offensive line.
He had a really good. Lamar Jackson, a couple of years ago, they didn't go to the Super Bowl, but he's one of the greatest seasons of all time. Yeah. In hockey, you've got one guy who's a difference maker, the goalie. Mm-hmm. If he's the best on the ice, the other team is screwed.
Standing on his head.
And then the same thing in pitching in baseball. You can have the one guy who makes that difference. Tarek Skubal, unless he takes himself out or he gets pulled after 99 pitches, Tarek Skubal is the guy who's going to give your team that chance of winning. Did you see the line from Nikola Jokic last night? It was sick. Guess what? His team lost at Golden State, even without Steph Curry. But he had another triple-double. He almost had a triple-double in the first quarter. But it didn't matter. They lost by double digits because he had too many hangers-on. And in hockey, when you've got that goalie, who's the difference maker, you can win games that maybe people think you shouldn't have.
And we had a lot of those here in Detroit back in the day.
Amen
a
to
lot
that.
of good goalies.
Amen to that.
I do got a question for you, though, because I heard Bray talking about representing the country. 2028, flag football is in the Olympics. How do we get Bray in the flag football, man, for Olympics?
So, okay, before you do that, I got to get some of those peptides Doc's talking about. So I can get a new knee, you know what I'm saying? A couple new knee situations, new elbow, make sure I'm working it out the right way. But, that would be cool.
That's going to be fire.
Do you think it should be an Olympic sport, flag football?
No.
Neither do I.
Absolutely not. It's just you know what it is it's a way to get the league involved.
Oh, yeah.
That's all it is.
The NFL,
national.
Yeah, they're brilliant.
I mean, international
Sure.
appeal.
Yeah, and the NFL is brilliant at that. They really are. I mean, I can't stand Roger Goodell, but they are brilliant at how they are able to maneuver themselves into the consciousness of not just America, but of the world now. You know, think about it. The NFL Combine, they register today. We're knee deep into football and basketball.
21 years ago.
I should say basketball and hockey. And you've got baseball spring training. And football says, don't forget about us. We want you to watch the Combine. And you know what? People are going to do that. They do it as well as anybody else, okay? Here's a quick thought. Ready? So this is where I'm slightly confused, and you need to help me with this. The average length of an NBA game is 2 hours and 23 minutes. The average time of ball that's in play is 48 minutes. Okay? Average. The average length of an NFL game is 3 hours and 6 minutes. The average time the ball is in play is 11 seconds. Okay? I said 48 minutes. I meant 48 seconds. I apologize. Okay? The average length of an MLB game is 2 hours and 45 minutes. The average time the ball is in play is 18. So it's 18 minutes for baseball, 11 minutes for NFL, it's 48 minutes for NBA, and for hockey, the average... Huh?
Seconds or minutes?
In minutes.
Okay.
Minutes. My apologies. I confused you. The average length of an NHL game is 2 hours and 38 minutes. So it's shorter than an NFL game. It's shorter than a Major League Baseball game. The average time the puck is in play is 60 minutes. Okay? Why is the percentage so low in terms of people watching? NFL is 51%, NBA is 31%, MLB is 31%, NHL is 17% viewership ratings. Is it marketing? Is it the physicality? I think it has to do with the scoring, personally, more than anything else.
Yeah, how there's a few, not that much scoring in hockey, not that much scoring in baseball, if you will.
Yeah.
Football too, man. Like in those 11 minutes, but in football, each play, like there's a lot that can happen.
Yeah.
There's a lot that jumps out at you. There's a lot of physicality. There's a lot of bang bang. There can be a big throw. There can be a running back get knocked out in the back. You can have a quarterback dodge a defensive end and make a play, and you're like, ooh. There's so much that happens. A catch. There's so much that happens in between the whistle, or could happen in between the whistle. I think you're just waiting each play. What's going to be the moment in this play? Not game, just in this play.
There are more highlight reel plays in football than probably any other sport.
Facts.
Right? And I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah,
but the numbers are interesting. That if you're looking for something that's actually in play and doesn't take, like we were told, remember, when baseball made these changes, which I think most of the changes are ridiculous, but that's my opinion. When baseball made these changes, everyone's talking about expediting the way it's played, right? 2 hours, 45 minutes. Ball in play, 18 minutes. Put a stopwatch when the ball's in play and when it's not. Boom, stop it, start it. That's what they mean by 18 minutes.
Commercials, like how long does it take to go to a commercial?
Right. Yeah. I'm talking about the ball is in play now, okay? That's a big statistic in baseball. You know, batting average with balls in play, all right? Pitching with balls in play, so on and so forth. You get that. It's very limited in baseball. And we've always known it's been limited in football. Most of football is you guys coming back to the huddle, calling, clapping, getting to the line of scrimmage, and then the ball's in play. But it's in play for a very short period of time, unless Braylon's got a catch and he's down the sidelines for a touchdown, and Brent Musburger's screaming, "Ho, Braylon Edwards!"
I mean, you know what time it is.
To the house.
You know what time
you know
it
what
is.
time it is.
Shout out to the New York Jets, man. And we'll do that in the second hour. The first hour had to be about Team USA, and but Team USA, the Jets put out a birthday post, and they put some plays that I haven't seen in a while.
Oh, cool. For you?
So we got the video.
Fantastic.
We'll show that.
Yeah, let's show that in the second hour for sure when we come back. The best feeling you've had as a fan when your team wins. Okay, so a lot of people may have chosen yesterday's gold medal game. How about you? When was the best feeling you ever had as a fan and your team was winning? Yeah. Not as a player, because you've got touchdowns galore. I'm talking about as a fan. We'll get your thoughts on the chat. Smash that like button and a whole lot more when we come back after this from Ben Johnson and Art and Jakes.
VEN Fights. That VENfights.com. VENfights.com. That's where you want to go if you want to get a lawyer that knows what he's doing and knows his way around the courtroom. He's a fighter. Let him fight for you. He and his team have been doing this for a very long time at a very high level. Doesn't matter if it's a settlement. Doesn't matter if it's verdict. They will get you what you need because they want all the smoke. Let Ben Johnson fight for you today.
Big deal coming up. Michigan, a winner for the most part this year until they fell into the Duke issue there in Washington, D.C. Michigan State with a bounce-back win, a nice win over Ohio State, even though they only made 4 threes. Art and Jakes will be there for that rematch. We want you to be there with us here on Woodward Sports. And we know that Art and Jakes is your go-to great sports bar atmosphere. Remember, though, they are more than that. They are more than just a bar with great food, really good drinks, and at 6 locations. They are part of your community. Art and Jakes has just become a premier sponsor for the Romeo Lions Club St. Baldrick's Festival. It's happening Saturday, March 14th, so a few weeks, in downtown Romeo. It's an incredible event. Brave volunteers shave their heads to fund childhood cancer research. What a worthy cause. Here's what you do. To get involved, you go to RomeoSB.com. That's RomeoSB.com, or just scan that QR code right there on your screen. Art and Jake's QR code right now. We want you there for an unbelievable cause with great people associated.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
To any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Like a frostbite straight from the divine. Cold rush on my skin feels so fine. Muscle freeze, the ache. No side effects, no mistake. Chill Sub-Zero. Icy and true. Feel the chill. It's all for you. It's not magic, just science play.
It's game on at Art and Jake's. Wings, burgers, pizza, and ice-cold drinks served up with attention to detail. Wall-to-wall TVs, great service, and a vibe that keeps your crew coming back. Art and Jake's, a sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shaq Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasta salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
Find your sun with Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Cold, refreshing, and made for moments like these all year long. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
Head to WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com. Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball. The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network. The game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
Fitness is for everyone. Over 2,700 clubs nationwide, 50 plus here in Metro Detroit. Access to the Black Heart Spa where you can recover with hydro massage and other innovative amenities. I don't mention that enough. I'm trying to tell you, if you get the Planet Fitness and you get those hydro massage chairs after the workout, they bring you back to life and they make you want to come back. Isn't that the plan? Get into that fitness journey, if you will, whether you're just starting it or continuing. Make sure you do it at Planet Fitness. We are all strong on this planet, and that planet is Planet Fitness.
Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea just made things a lot better for you. Real vodka, real iced tea, no bubbles, just a clean, crisp sip that won't fill you up on game day because it's only got 100 calories. It is perfect for tailgates. Yesterday would have been maybe couch gates while you're watching Team USA win gold. Either way, let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser and Woodward Sports, and please drink responsibly.
You know what I love about the Olympics is you know, people don't necessarily watch everything when it's on. People kind of have it in the background or you don't watch it. But every Monday, because the Olympics always is on Sunday, we know that. Every Monday when the Olympics are no more, people are still looking for like, oh man, the Olympics are on. It's like, dang, is it done? When did they end? Was it closing ceremony? Was it Sunday? Everybody always wants more on Monday.
I watched a little bit of the closing ceremony. It seemed like there were a lot of people missing from the closing ceremony. I'd like to know how many people really, like how many athletes stick around, you know, or do they take off like a golfer who's already been eliminated from the tournament and he decides to jump on his private plane and get out of there?
Yeah, a lot of them. Like for me, I'm only watching the opening and closing ceremonies when it's the Summer Olympics and when it's in Asian countries. And
why Asian countries?
Because they do an amazing job with the opening ceremonies. Like, do you remember the drone show?
I do. Yeah.
Like that drone. What do you remember? 08 in Beijing. So like, it's ridiculous.
You want to see the presentation, the production of it all?
Because they blow every other country out of the water.
I get it.
Continent, I should say.
We are gonna talk about a big stretch for the Pistons coming up. We'll do that at the top of the hour. We got Brays, Bums, and Ballers as well. Let me ask you, before we get to all that, the best feeling you've had as a fan and watching your team. What's the best feeling of any team that you may have been a fan of in your life? Is there a moment?
It is.
There a game,
you asked two ways. I'm gonna answer both.
Okay.
All right. So to answer this question, I could have went Pistons, going to work, I think that was a big one. I told you I wasn't here in 89-90 when they won. I was in Atlanta, so I didn't get a chance to enjoy that one. Being a part of 04, being at some of those games, being in the streets when people were celebrating, that was fun. But I'm going to take it a little further back. I remember watching my Atlanta Braves in 91 getting cracked by the Twins, who they were better than. Then I remember watching them follow it up in 92, getting cracked by the Blue Jays and Joe Carter. I still can remember him running around the bases and doing this. What's his name? What's his name's father? It was Joe Buck's father, right?
Yeah.
All right, Joe Buck's father. Remember him doing that. Then I remember them losing to the Phils in 93. Like, damn, this can't be football. I mean, see, this can't be baseball. This cannot be life. That was the life of my Atlanta Braves, who I'm very near and dear to. Then they didn't even make the playoffs in 94. We all know why. Insert 1995. Finally, the Atlanta Braves, they get it done. 6 games. And then my guy Tom Glavine pitched a mint in game 6. So that right there, in terms of fandom, as a fan of a team and having been through something to where that moment actually really resonated, I never will forget when they finally closed the deal, because I actually had just moved back to Detroit. So when they won, I wasn't even in Atlanta, but I was very much rooting for my Braves. So that was the moment.
You never cease to amaze me. I never would have guessed, nor would I have guessed that you and I would pick a baseball moment.
Well, I knew you would pick baseball.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I had 3 from which to choose.
The other one would have been the 49ers, because that was my favorite team growing up. And then Deion goes to the 49ers in 94. And they win in what year? You guessed it, 95.
So
95.
Yeah, mine was originally 88, what the Pistons did against the Lakers, even though they lost. Isaiah's ability to take over despite a busted ankle, something LeBron would never get through. Even though they lost, it was still etched in my memory as arguably my favorite basketball team of all time. When the Wings finally broke through and won their first cup of the modern era, was a very emotional moment when I was covering it at Joe Louis Arena. But for me, as a child or as a product of the great state of Michigan, it was the 84 Tigers, because of what they went through in 83 against Baltimore and how good Baltimore was, and for that team to be as dominant as they were, and throughout. The most dominating team I think Detroit sports has really ever had. 35-5, led by all those all-stars, blowing out Kansas City, then blowing out the Padres, not even having home field advantage against San Diego. So I would say for me, the one team or the best feeling I've ever had is watching the Tigers celebrate the 1984 championship. Larry Herndon making that grab in left field. Kool-Aid? Sorry.
No, you're good. Notice what we both said as we related to our teams winning. What made it even more special as a fan was what happened the years or year before.
Yeah.
So it's the story, it's the journey, it's the getting denied.
You feel like you're with that
100%.
team. That's why 88 for the Pistons is special to me. It's the easy thing is to say, yeah, well, they won the championship in 89 and then they won it in 90. I thought they were the best team in 1988 as well. Yeah. And I thought they got a little screwed. It might have been one of the first inklings I had of maybe something's afoot here, right?
That's fair.
Maybe the league wants somebody other than this team to be successful without getting too far, without trying to go down that conspiracy theory hole.
I'm always ready for that.
But 84 Tigers. But that I will say that 97 Wings team. What I loved about them is similar to what I love about today's current Pistons team, and that is, even though they've got stars, they've got a hell of a lot more stars than the Pistons do now, but the roles that they're willing to accept. So one of our teammates, Darren McCarty, embraced that role, and I think that's I truly believe that's what's required for teams to be great. Somebody has to be Amon-Ra St. Brown can't get the ball every time, but how many times have you done a Braylon's breakdown where he's downfield blocking? That, to me, isn't the full definition of it, but it's part of the word greatness. That willingness to do that, especially in that sport, it's a team sport, is vital.
You have to adapt the mentality. I am here on this team to, one, do exactly what I'm supposed to do, exactly what I'm believed to do. And also, my job is to make my teammates the best version of themselves. It's to make them look good. Like, that's the one part a lot of times team players don't necessarily get. My job is not just to catch passes, it's to block, like to know what the play is. It's to make sure I do the best things and what I'm supposed to be doing to make this other guy look good. If I'm not clearing out, then how can a play that's supposed to go to the tight end look good? Because if I'm not clearing out, then it's still it's clustered right there. Now he can't get open. If I don't go and block the running back on a toss screen crack play where he's trying to get to the outside, and if I take the linebacker or the safety out the play, now he has a one-on-one with the DB that I left. If I don't do that, then he can't look good. Like, if I'm not where I'm supposed to be as a wide receiver, quarterback can't look good. Like, this is how you make your team look good. It's doing the things that you're supposed to be doing, all of them in totality.
That's why I love the breakdowns, and I'm super excited for next year, too, when we could do it on a more regular basis, because you showed us one earlier this year where you complimented a receiver who was not in the play.
Yeah.
But you said he ran his route that allowed the other receiver, and I apologize, I forget which they were, but you said that allowed the other receiver to have the space to make the catch and then create more space afterwards. Nobody recognizes that, okay? You have to be knee-deep into football filmology in order for you to recognize that. It's sort of like when Quinn Hughes scored the game winner against Sweden. There was just a quick flash right across the front that allowed him to create a little more space because the defensive player who was on him had to just avoid the player who was skating through that crease area. Those are the little things that I think matter so much. I wish we would always take a little bit more note of them.
True.
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid?
How about the same question? Best feeling you've had as a fan after your team wins?
Yeah,
I'm sure it was a Kate Cunningham move.
I was gonna piggyback. This isn't my moment, but just that '95 team, the Braves.
Hey,
they always
wait a
came
minute.
on like national TV, and so
yes.
the Tigers weren't the best. But as a kid, I would watch them, and so when they were on
Turner
that run,
Superstation.
I was watching them. After they won, I have family down in the Atlanta area. You might know Brenda Wood, big time like news anchor actually in that area, in that Atlanta area. So we went down there to visit her and her family and everything. My grandma got me one of those balls that had all of the champions' names on there, like the stamps and all of that.
Yeah.
So still have that souvenir, man, which kind of links us again, man. Had some good times down in
crazy.
Atlanta, but definitely, man. For me, y'all already know it's 04 Pistons. Like that was the summer before I went to college. And so my pops, he took time off that summer.
Yeah.
Like we went to Mackinac, he was going with me to basketball training, and he was taking me downtown to see the games or take me to the Palace to see the games here, but take me downtown to Shane Park, now Aretha Franklin Amphitheater to see the games outside. It was epic for me.
Yeah.
Like that, and then
It helped mold you,
that.
didn't it? I mean, that team
Everything,
helped mold you into the type of athlete you wanted, a mindset that you felt like you needed, or that other teams will be measured against moving forward.
Bro, that was the first. That was the first off season actually. When I was going to college, that I was like, "Yo, I gotta work," and so they won that. I asked my dad. I had like about a month and a half. I was like, "Can you find me any type of trainer?" Wound up adding about 15 pounds of muscle on the way to school. Went from 169 to 183.
That's the impact teams can have on younger people. It's not just the winning. It's how these teams are winning that make you go, you know what? I want my team to be like that. I'm willing to say something about my team that does that. Those are the positive, I think, things that these teams can add to anybody who might be their biggest cheerleader out there, no matter the age group. What about you, Cam? What about the best feeling you've had as a fan after your team wins?
For me, best feeling is going to be our 98 Detroit Red Wings on that back-to-back, winning it for Vladdy. That was also the year I graduated high school, so it was just like kind of like the pinnacle of sports for me.
Yep.
Michigan football won the Natty. Our shout out to Ann Arbor Huron River Rats. We played the championship game at the Silver. Or actually, that was Ford Field.
Yeah,
my bad. But yeah, it would have been the 98 Detroit Red Wings, Titletown back to back.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yes, it was beautiful. So much fun.
Epic.
Yeah.
And the way the Colorado Avs rivalry escalated and all that, too. I mean, it was just so much fun.
For sure. I mean, the 96 Wings and Avs was a little bothersome because that's when Detroit set the record for most wins and most points in a single NHL season, and then only to lose in the Western Conference Finals to the Avs. So that was heartbreaking. What were you going to say? Sorry.
I can't believe I forgot the 97 Michigan team, but it's neither here nor there.
Well, you can add it. I mean, it's part of it. Yeah, that's good stuff.
I'm waiting till you give. I'm waiting to give the other one now, the Olympian side.
All right, give me the Olympian side.
All right. Now, Shep asked a question in the chat this morning, and I'll repeat what the question was so you can see where I got to. I got you biggest or best moment you felt watching sports. That's what Shep asked in the chat. Obviously, you think USA, think of Olympian situations. For me, it's twofold. Okay, twofold. As my headphones came out for the 15,000th time, I got to get this thing figured out. I love the headphones. I got to figure the cord out. The first time I started running track when I was. This would have been 92. I started running track, loved track, followed track. Like, track became my favorite sport over baseball. There was this.
Did you watch it too?
What? Track? Yeah, it's hard to watch track meets because they weren't necessarily on all the time.
Right, yeah.
But Dad always, had the satellite. He had the channels. He understood what it was. He had the guide. Back in the day, he used to have the TV guide. You could figure stuff out.
Yeah.
But there was this guy that ran the 200 and the 400 just like no other. Like, he was amazing. He won the 400 in 1992 in Barcelona. Then he comes back in 96, and he attempts to do something that the only other person to do it was in 1936, and it was Jesse Owens. He won he never did. He went the 2-4 double. Jesse Owens did the 1-2 double. He was trying to do the 2-4 double. And the Olympics was in Atlanta, where I was living, where I just moved out. Also was on home soil, USA. Michael Johnson wins the 2 and the 4, and you know what shoes he was wearing? The infamous gold, boys. So this was the moment in terms of filling a moment that meant the most to me. I was a track runner. I lived in Atlanta. Like, I ran the 200. I ran the 400. Loved Michael Johnson. And to watch him do at the time what people said was impossible, be a 400 runner that wins the 200. Not only did he win the 200, Chef, he broke the world record that stood for years until some guy named Usain Bolt came along. But that moment, from doing something that had never been done before to wearing something that nobody ever seen before to breaking the record in both as he did it, you talking about feeling a tremendous sense of pride. As soon as this was over, I was to the track. I was like, yo, Dad, it's time to go work. But Michael Johnson would be the moment. And the other one would be a friend of mine who I mentioned earlier, Michael Phelps, in 2016. They told the old man he was too old.
Yeah.
They said, because he wasn't going to compete in the Olympics that were in Brazil, wasn't going to compete. Said they had a lot of young guys, young swimmers, faster than him, better than him, lost in the semis, if you will, did not have the fastest time. And the guy that was young, who was 19 years old, made the infamous mistake of mean mugging Mike Phelps, and that was the result. This is like the Tom Brady 28-3. This was the look, and the guy in the pool, if you all remember, as opposed to finishing the race and swimming through the wall, he got nervous because he knew who was next to him, and that's the greatest Olympian of all time. You see him look over, and you see Mike Phelps keep going straight. So those are the two moments for me. One's because I knew Mike, and the other one's because track was what I was, Michael Johnson.
What did you get, 28 medals, I think?
28, yeah.
28, 23 gold. I want you to think about that.
Yeah.
You got to do some neck exercises. You do. You have to do some neck exercises to wear that many gold medals around your neck.
Yeah, you ain't.
Right? I ain't lying on that, man. I'm not lying on that. Let's get to some super chats and some folks who have been involved in the chat. We always appreciate you very much. Make sure you jump in and get involved, and we'll make sure we give you some love, and we appreciate especially the super chats. Go ahead.
Definitely. Charles in the chat sends in a $2 super chat. He says, "It feels just like Miracle on Ice." Back when you guys were talking about USA Hockey, it does. It felt like a dream or a movie or something that we've seen play out in cinema for so long, to see it happen for us. And like Spinny said, to see one of our teams punch home the victory in the big game, Dog, that was sweet.
Yeah, my wife asked me this yesterday. She said, what do you think is bigger? This, since the U.S. hadn't won gold since 1960 against Canada, or the miracle in 1980? And I said, it's not even close. It's 1980. And she said, why? I said, because it started a movement.
Yeah.
It started a country who, and granted, it took a while to win another one, too long, right? But it created a sport for a country that nobody associated the sport with. And now, when you see an above 30% participation rate in the National Hockey League, the greatest league in the history of the sport, and you're getting more and more Americans, and you're seeing Americans come from California and Arizona and Texas and Florida, and you see some of the greatest travel programs in the history of the sport being in our state, and you see how much pride these guys have in playing for it. And then you see the juniors, the U17s and the U18s, who are watching this and saying, okay, like Bray said, Dad, give me the spikes, I'm going back to work.
100%.
That's what those kids are doing today.
Yeah.
As much as they enjoyed it, that's what they're doing. It started a movement back in 1980. Today, or yesterday, was the culmination of maybe the early fruits of that labor.
Yeah.
But overall, I think that's what really started the ball rolling. What I love most is Mike Eruzione. How many times have you heard ex-athletes, and one of the things, I'm not saying this because you're here, but I respect about you, you don't say, oh man, back in my day, if I would have played, how much money I would have made, and this, that, and the other thing. No, you hear that in sports a lot, where guys are almost sour on the players of today. And when somebody asked Mike Eruzione about it, he said, look, our time was 46 years ago. These guys deserve their time.
Yeah.
I remember Kirk Gibson told me a story when he'd go back to Los Angeles, a lot of the Dodgers would be a little disappointed or frustrated because all people talked about was the 1988 Dodgers until LA finally broke through during the COVID year. Okay, yeah. Right? So Gibby's reaction to them was always, well, go win one yourself then. Go pave that way, right? Same thing with the Tigers right now. Oh, are you tired of hearing about 1984? Go win the damn thing then. Stop. Mike Eruzione didn't say that. Mike Eruzione said, look, we had our time. These guys are going to get their time. He said they were going to win it. And I give him a ton of credit for willing to take that proverbial back seat after they've done those various documentaries on the 1980 team. Go ahead, Kool-Aid. Sorry about that.
Oh, yeah. No, Labartney actually sends in a $4.99 super chat. He says, Randall is a real one. And he just sent in another $4.99 super chat and says, shout out Big Shep.
Big
Shout
Shep.
out to Labartney, man. Just supporting.
Thank
you, Labartney.
Yeah, we appreciate that, man. Always great stuff.
Big Shep.
Love it.
But yeah, like, you know, the people that come before always want the people to come after to have success, have some measure of success, because one thing about being a part of a college or a university or a franchise or organization is you're a part of that thing. So when they win in the future, you win as well, because you'll always be linked to it. You'll always be tied to it, especially if you feel you have that connection. When Michigan finally won in 2021, when they beat Ohio State, they win the Big Ten, and they go on to the Final Four at the time. Now it's 12. Like, that felt great. Me, Chris Perry, Steve Breston, Jason Vaught, Mike Hart, we got tired of, man, they haven't won since 2004. It's been 2004. So when they won, we were like, hell yeah, they've arrived. Shout out to those guys, and we're rocking and rolling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are the things that we can't lose sight of, the impact that they're making. Look, teams in this market right now, we've got it really good right now. We do. I mean, we've got the two best college hockey teams in the country. We've got three of the top four. We've got the best NBA team in the NBA.
We'll find out tonight.
You're probably this week.
This week, yeah. It's a gauntlet, as
it is a bit of a gauntlet. It's really 4 games in the next 5, I think, with a little bit of a mini skip over Orlando. So we've got it really good in that regard, and we've got a hockey team that's probably going to make the playoffs. We've got a baseball team that most people think will win its division. I mean, it's a good time right now to be part of a Michigan-based fan base, don't you think?
It's a great time. It is a really good time. The state of Michigan, I feel like there's just been this carryover. It's been overlapping now for the past 4 years. It started with who. I think it started with Michigan and the Detroit Lions pretty much around the same time in 2021. And each year there's a new team or there's a next step to take it to the next level. Last year, the Pistons started their journey. Well, this year, they're number 1 in the league, So the Lions may let us down. Here come the Pistons. Here come the Red Wings. Here come the Red Wings players in the Olympics. So there's always something holding this sport on, holding the state on.
Yeah, it feels like if we get to the next Olympics, you're going to probably see more than likely Jalen Duren along with Cade Cunningham on that stage.
2028,
In 2028. And so it's like,
I hope
realistically, it feels like this thing is set up for a lot more than just what we have right now. It's going to be some winning, I believe, for the time to come.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I mean, it's a feel-good moment for us. Will we be good enough to beat any of the other teams that Europe has to offer? And I don't know the answer to that. I would assume both Duren and Cunningham would be on it. Cunningham has to be on it. Yeah. He's one of the greatest players in the world. There's a lot of things that can happen in 2 years, though. So that's why I always caution it. And I don't know what that could be for those two specific players, but for Team USA, you could have some young guys come in and do stuff that we've never seen before. I don't foresee that in the next couple of years. But you've got a lot of guys right now who, I mean, there's some players. There's some good young players in the NBA, but as you've said before, those Euros are coming, man. I mean, and they're here. They've arrived, and they're making a statement on a pretty regular basis.
Anson's in the studio right now. Shout out to him. Last year, or was it 2 years ago, when they played in the Olympics, one of the things that he talked about leading up to Olympics was Canada. And it's funny we're talking about Canada as it relates to hockey being the nemesis that we had to contend with. Canada's going to be one of those teams, Shep, in 2028 that's going to be, I won't say a problem, but they'll be a problem, if you will. They were a problem 2 years ago.
Yeah.
They just weren't necessarily ready. That would be a team that I would keep my eye on. And then obviously, who plays for France.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, and that guy's in town tonight, and we're going to talk about it on the other side. Pistons and Spurs, plus we got Bray's Ballers and his bums. We've got that coming up, too. All that, plus we want your thoughts of a baller or a bum in the chat. So join us and smash that like button after this from Massage Chair and Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning.
And LaBartney with another $4.99 super chat.
Shout out to
he
LaBartney.
Just says, thank you, WS and Woodward Sports Network. Thank you, LaBartney.
Yeah, couldn't do it without you, man.
And for all those of you in the chat that are waiting for me to say, yeah, Michigan, we lost, and we're going to talk about that too. we're not going to graze over that. Michigan lost to Duke, and we will talk about that.
Okay, let's hear from Massage Chair.
If you are looking to take your relaxation to the next level, actually, I know that you guys are, so scan that QR code there while I get you the rest of this info. You guys got to visit the Massage Chair House in Bloomfield Hills. It is the largest massage chair showroom in the Midwest. It features top-tier brands like Infinity and Osaki. And you got to remember those brands so you know which chairs to try out when you get there. So you see the one we got here in the studio? I'm serious, guys. It takes relaxation to the next level. You get to experience that too. If you go and you experience the difference with Dr. Eric Duncan, the Wellness Doc, and creator of the #1 YouTube channel for massage chair reviews at the Wellness Doc. Book your visit today at massagechairhouse.com or simply scan the QR code on your screen. Massage Chair House, your ticket to ultimate recovery and relaxation.
Listen, whether it's the winter or the summer, you got to make sure that everything in your house is running smoothly. You don't turn that over to somebody who's just starting up. You turn it over to experts, and that's what Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning is. 40 years of reliable service, treating customers like family. You and I both know that there has been a long and a serious drop of customer service these days. Not at Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning. They understand just how important it really is, not just to treat you right, but to keep your heating system running safely, efficiently all season long. They are dependable. That's all you can ask for. Go to their website, sharonsheating.com, and call them today, 734-238-3805, and make sure you tell them the Braylon Edwards Show sent you.
Sub-zero, icy and true. Feel the chill. It's all for you. It's not magic, just science play. Chill Sub-zero.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Place your bets. Wemby and the Spurs are in town playing right down the street tonight. You can bet up to $1,000, and if you lose, you get that bet back. Sounds loco, but all you gotta do is scan this QR code, enter the code Woodward1000, and if your first bet doesn't hit, you get that deposit back up to $1,000. That's right, $1,000 back just for giving it a shot. Download the Caesars Sportsbook app today, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. Use code Woodward1000 or scan the QR code on the screen.
Had one of these over the weekend, really good, man. They're called the Sam Adams Cherry Wheat. $5 shorts of Sam Adams Cherry Wheat at any Art and Jake's location across the state of Michigan on these Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays as well. It's light, it's refreshing. It's brewed with real Michigan cherries, by the way. And you can't get anything better than Sam Adams Cherry Wheat for four quarters of basketball, like when Michigan and Michigan State square off at the end of the Big Ten regular season. Sam Adams Cherry Wheat. Please drink responsibly.
And we back.
Okay, when do you want to do Bray's Ballers and Bums? You want to wait on that, or you want to do that right now, rip that off, and then do the Pistons and Spurs?
You know what? Let's run through it real quick. I think we can run through it. We don't have to be either. I'm talking to myself on this one. I don't have to be elongated with the stories on that. We can do Braves, Ballers, and Bums, and then we can jump into Detroit Pistons. I know a lot of people are excited about tonight and just this week as it relates to what the Pistons can accomplish.
Yeah, so who's your baller and bum of the weekend? I love this segment. It gives us a chance to tell people who we thought was the best and who we thought was the worst. So who's your baller and who's your bum to start?
All right, you can throw it up there. Super sweet potato Cam, if you will. I think there was no other way to go with this than Team USA as it relates to the Hughes family. Like, got the Michigan. I love the picture. I know it's Team USA should get the ballers. It should be Team USA. It should be everybody involved. But I don't know, man. I went with the Hughes family, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Mom Dukes that was on the staff on Friday when they get the gold medal. And then the Hughes brothers on Sunday, they get the win for Team USA, the men's. Not to mention those individuals. They won games in overtime that were pivotal moments in getting to that championship game. And it's just something about University of Michigan and the state of Michigan. So shout out to the Hughes family. Oh, and Pops. Can't forget to leave Pops out. That's why he's in the picture as well. So the ballers for me would be the Hughes family.
I'm with you on that. I would say just the team in general. I love the fact that team went 18 for 18 on the penalty kill. They killed off a 5-on-3 for $142 in that gold medal game. And they beat the best team most people would consider ever assembled. Now, I did see a lot of Canadian people complaining that they should have had Connor Bedard
in the fourth line.
And a few other guys. Yeah, but Bedard obviously wasn't on the team. Look, when they put that team together and you've got some of the names, you could rattle them off, every team in the world would want some of those guys. I saw some Russian people on social media. It's not really the best of the best if Russia's not involved. Hey, tell your dictator to get a life. I don't know. What do you want me to tell you? All Team USA can do is what Team USA is doing, and I give them full props for their ability to do what they do and navigate that hell of a tournament. So way to go, Team USA. What about your bum?
2 bums for me. Bum one's John Cooper, and the comment that he made, I wasn't a fan. It seemed as we were talking about, you had an elite team, and you had plenty of opportunity to do what you guys done. If you guys are going to be that good, then you should have won, regardless of who's playing or not, especially when you had opportunities. You named the 3. When you're talking about 3 guys like that, I don't want to hear the excuses.
Amen.
And 100%, you're complaining about things that you already knew leading up to it. If there's a problem, complain about that before the tournament starts.
Yeah.
So at least we can see where you stand. Say, hey, look, I don't really appreciate how the format is, but you know what? My guys are going to be ready to go, and we're going to rock and roll. And then you never have to mention it again. Don't mention it when your team loses. So him, and then Kendrick Perkins. Kendrick Perkins is another bum, because sometimes he wants to be on Cade Cunningham, sometimes he wants to be on Detroit Pistons, but when it serves him, he likes to go against. And this morning, it served him to say that Jaylen Brown is playing the best basketball two-way in the NBA, saying he's doing the most with the least, talking about he's proved it time and time again. We didn't think this team was going to be anything without Jason Tatum. Perk, shut up. I get it. You play for the Celtics. You won championships with the Celtics. When you get on this TV, you got to lobby for the teams that you represent. But him over Cade, you just talked about Cade last week. You just talked about Cade and what he's doing and what he made you feel. Now all of a sudden, Jaylen Brown, after 2 performances, which were really good games, really nice performances, 32-15, 33-9. I get it. Amazing game. But you can't keep going back and forth, and then you cannot say that he's doing more with less. Now, we know it's not less here in Detroit, but you guys called him less. Yes. You guys said you didn't know who they were. You guys said we didn't have a star. You said it was just Cade. You guys dismissed Jalen Duren, by the way. So you can't dismiss everybody on Cade's team and then say Jaylen Brown, who actually has won a championship 2 years ago, and many of the people on that team were a part of that championship, including the head coach. So
including an Olympian in Derek White.
Exactly. Yeah. So for you to say that, I thought that was a lie.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I agree. I don't like Kendrick Perkins at all. But I would say, I do believe Jaylen Brown deserves to be in the conversation. I've said this all year. This is not me just jumping on the pile as the lopper, as they used to call the guys in football, the last man on pile. I believe Jaylen Brown should be in there for an extended period of time. Yeah, right. He's 4th in the league in scoring. He's having 29 points per game. He's shooting 48% from the floor. He's shooting 38% from 3. He's averaging 7 rebounds per game. He's averaging 5 assists. I think Boston's a talented team with and without Jason Tatum, but Jaylen Brown, what he has been able to do this year and done it consistently, deserves to be in the conversation. Doesn't mean I think he's the MVP. I just think he's not being mentioned like he probably should, just like I thought Cade Cunningham should have been mentioned a long time ago, and he wasn't. Hell, if we're going to do that, we got to throw Charles Barkley in there. Because Charles Barkley at the beginning of the season, what did he say? He said the team to beat in the East is the New York Knicks. Over the weekend, what did he say? He said, I've changed my pick to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, I am not so sensitive to think that if you don't pick Detroit, you don't know what you're talking about. If you don't pick Cade Cunningham, you don't know what you're talking about. But when you have these conversations, like you said, for you to constantly be changing your mind on a weekly basis because one guy just impressed you, where the hell have you been all season? Jaylen Brown's been this player all season long.
He has.
And Cade Cunningham has been this player all season long. And by the way, the Pistons have been this team all season long. Now, Cam and I had a conversation before we got rolling here a little bit, and he said, it's unbelievable. I mean, the Pistons have been the best team in the East. The problem people outside of Detroit have is that they don't view the East in the same light as they view the West. Whether we think that's right or wrong, that's how it's viewed. Boston's without Tatum. Cleveland was a disappointment last year. Indiana doesn't have their full capacity, nor does Milwaukee have theirs. So who's the stern test for the Pistons? I would raise my hand and say, well, you guys all picked the Knicks, and Detroit has beaten them by an average of 28 points per game. And then they'll turn around and they'll say, well, it's OKC, it's San Antonio, it's Denver, and it's Houston. All 4 of those teams are better than the teams that are chasing Detroit.
And when people say that, I look at the West as now that when you get the more info, the more you know, the more you have available to you. Like the West is a little bit overhyped. Because when I'm looking at the West, I see OKC, I see Spurs, and I see that's it. I see a Denver team that's struggling. They lost to a team they should have lost to last night without their old aging star in Golden State and Steph Curry. You can't trust, not the big fella, you can't trust everybody else on the team. You can't trust who the coach is. And then when you talk about Houston, did you see the 18-point lead they gave up to the same team we talk about struggling, the New York Knicks? So when you look at the West, I look at the West and the East as the same right now. You got 2 in the West, you got 2 in the East, and everybody else is trying to vie for that third spot.
So my bum are the people who vote for the MVP in the Olympics. And they gave it to Connor McDavid, who, if you've watched Braylon Edwards' show long enough, you know how much I respect and love his game. He had fewer goals than a guy by the name of Joel Armia. All right, he had 2 goals in the tournament. He led everybody in scoring 13 overall, but he only had 2 goals. I don't know how you bypass Connor Hellebuck, who had 5 wins and a goals against average of 1.18 and a save percentage of 95.6. Connor Hellebuck was voted the best goalie. In the words of Bob Seger, no shit, I've known that for 10 years. Yeah. But I don't know how you bypass him for an MVP when this team, Team USA, went undefeated. He went undefeated. Canada lost. And unless we're doing the Jerry West thing that the only guy to win MVP on a losing team in the NBA Finals, or we're going to do the same thing associated with the NFL, where it's only happened once in a Super Bowl, right, where one guy has been named MVP. I don't understand what they were looking at. I think it's a Canadian bias, and I think that's a tough pill for some American hockey fans to swallow.
Yeah, I think Team USA hockey gets treated like the Detroit Pistons do in NBA. Like at the end of the day, no matter what they do, you're always going to try to find a way to discredit them. Like them giving it to Connor McDavid, look, he's my guy. Like, I put him as the top 5 exciting players in the world.
In sports.
In sports.
Yeah.
100%. So I love Connor McDavid. Him winning, he shouldn't have. Now, if you tell me he scored, 14 points, I think he had 13.
He did have 13.
Yeah, you tell me I scored 13 points and 9 of those are goals and 4 of those are assists. I'm like, maybe. Still no, but maybe. But, 2 of those were goals. 11 of those were assists, and they lost. So, I get it, but I don't think it was. If he breaks the record, which this is all they talked about, if he's going to break Sid the Kid's record, if he breaks Sidney's record, then we're talking something different because it's a record.
Well, he eventually will because he's got 13. He had 13 this year. Sidney Crosby had 16 in an Olympic career.
Right.
So he's going to break it because he's going to be on Team Canada moving forward as well. I just don't. I think you got to be careful when you're talking about the Chuck Howleys of the world and the Jerry West of the world. They better be super special, but there better be somebody who has taken a back seat to him. And I don't think Connor Hellebuck takes a back seat to him at all.
I think the IOC missed a chance. Like that's who's the IOC.
I don't know who votes on it. I thought it was the media who covered the Olympics.
Okay, so media, IOC that covered the Olympics, you guys missed an opportunity.
Yeah.
You missed an opportunity to reward a team and a player that dominated your tournament. He dominated the tournament.
He did.
You missed an opportunity to award him that, and years from now, you look back and say, man, that was a hell of a performance by Connor Hellebuck and Team USA. But now you're going to look back and you're going to see, Connor McDavid won? What did he do?
Yeah.
You missed him all.
You know what's happened, and especially in hockey, when they look at the 3 stars, usually they'll look at game winner, whoever scores the game winner.
Right.
They'll look at goalie, and then they'll look at the player with most points. And in this case, they went to the player with most points. They obviously didn't go with the game winner because it was Jack Hughes. Yeah. You should have gone with the goalie. That's usually where the mindset goes for your 3 stars. I've voted on 3 stars before, and that's usually where everybody goes with. All right, let's get to the Pistons. So the Pistons play the Spurs tonight, and this is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be a test for the Pistons, no doubt about it. It's a test for the Spurs, too, but it's a test for the Pistons over the next 3 games. Here's who they've got. They've got San Antonio, OKC, Cleveland, then they play Orlando, and then they get Cleveland again. All 3 of these games are at home. I don't know how much that means to you, if it means a little bit more, if it were at home or not. But when we look at this game, I'll ask you the same thing I asked you last week. How much are we going to learn from this team playing a team like San Antonio, who, by the way, very good at 40 up and 16 down, okay? Very good team. A little better than, pretty good at on the road. Nothing special on the road. Detroit's a better home team at 22-6 at home compared to San Antonio's 19-10 on the road. But San Antonio is the leader in defensive rebounds at 35.3 per game. We need to keep that in mind as we watch this game. What do you think we glean from this, if anything at all?
This is a tough stretch. This is a really good stretch. You're talking about the Spurs. You're talking about the Cavs. You're talking about OKC. They won't have Jalen Williams. They won't have SGA, Big Whoop. They didn't have them the other day, and they still beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are part of that.
Right.
It'll just let you know what you can do. As it relates to Wemby, this may be a team that you have to see in the finals. How do you match up against Victor Wembanyama? How do you match up against him? What does that look like? What is the intensity? How can you operate in the paint? Are you able to get rebounds? Are you able to do some things to make it a little bit tougher for him to score baskets? You know he can score in a multitude of ways, but this is one of the teams that you will have to potentially see at the end. How do you play against him? OKC, I want to see what that looks like as well. And then the Cavs, I want to see what you have as a team that has been together, playing against a team that's just trying to come together. I expect that to look like a Pistons dominant game. And if it doesn't, I'm a little bit worried about that. So I just want to see how they respond in this stretch of games. And to be honest, 4 games, they need to be 3-1 at the end of the stretch.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's where I was going to go next. Of these next 3 games, what would you be willing to accept and still believe in this team overall?
3-1.
I'm talking about these 3 games right here, because they're going to beat Orlando.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So what are you looking at? These are 3 home games.
Only team they should lose to is I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Disrespectful.
I could accept 2-1.
2-1 is what I could accept too. Okay. That's where I was going to go.
That's where I'm going with it. Right.
And one of those two, one of them, it better not be Cleveland. Like, you better not lose to this Cleveland team.
Well, if that's the case, then it could be 3-0 for me, because if you're saying OKC is going to be undermanned, although Detroit is too, with the loss of Isaiah Stewart, I think Detroit is. I don't know what kind of matchup. How do you think they match up with San Antonio? Not just Wembanyama, but anybody who is a force on that San Antonio team.
Castle, De'Aaron Fox is also. Yeah, De'Aaron Fox.
They're nice players.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
I still think they match up better.
So do I.
I think they match up better because I think they play both ends of the court better. I think they have some offensive power on the other side, and I think their defense happens through Wembanyama. I don't think they have a lot of other players to help him defensively to be this defensive prowess of a team. So I think they match up well against them.
Kool-Aid, you got anything happening tonight regarding the Pistons?
Oh, yeah. We definitely
so let's promote
be
that
in the arena.
Okay.
What do you see?
We got the post-game show that's going to be happening as well, so make sure you guys tap in. But yeah, obviously the news right now around social media, fans, observer media is this a finals preview? And for me, I think you guys said it best, how they match up. Wemby is one of those players who can affect things. We know what K can do from a gravity position, but Wemby is one of those guys that can affect things on both ends of the court so drastically. He can just shut down that middle, which is where we know the Pistons, what's their philosophy? Touch the paint. That's going to get severely challenged tonight against the Spurs, but I think that overall their pedigree and the Pistons being the team that gets after the loose balls the most, based on the metrics, the team that hustles the most, I think that this gives them that much more of an advantage over a team like this. And they've been moving better defensively. Their defense around the perimeter is actually what encourages me a little bit more on this stretch. And if they can continue to move defensively the way that they have been as of late, I definitely believe that this is going to be a stretch that they can handle and hopefully get you to that 3-1, Bry.
Yeah, the concern for me is that San Antonio is a team that averages close to 120 points a game.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
They're going to test them.
And Detroit's going to have to score. And we know about their three-point shooting. Now, it's been better lately. It
has.
But overall, right? So the three-point shooting, my guess would be San Antonio. This is so obvious. But San Antonio is going to say, you know what, you're going to beat us with threes, go right ahead. It's going to be tough to drive on this team. And it's something what Detroit has done really, really well is that ability to sneak inside that defense and test an opposing team's low post defense. Victor Wembanyama changes that mindset for a lot of players. I'm not saying he's going to change the entire Pistons team. Kate Cunningham will go right at him Go ahead, flush it with the left hand. I'm just saying there are going to be guys who are like, you know what? Wembanyama's there. I might want to pull up and hit this 12-footer, whereas before I would have taken it more to the glass.
Bro, we saw Tayshaun Prince do that. We know Victor Wembanyama is changing shots and making
hell yeah, he is. And if he's not, you haven't been paying attention.
Yeah,
you watched the All-Star game. I mean, you saw in game 1 of the All-Star game.
He got things fired.
You saw cats were like, I'm not going to the paint. And this was an All-Star game. Cats weren't trying to go into the paint, so it's going to be more of the same. But you got to go at him. You got to go at him. Where's the team that can get him in foul trouble? Because when you look at the Spurs since February 1st, they blew out Orlando, blew out OKC, blew out the Mavs, the Lakers, Golden State, Suns, Kings. They're blowing people out. Who is the team that is challenging the basket when Wemby is there? Who is the team that's trying to get him in foul trouble? Because when you look at all that, because of the minute restrictions they have him on, he doesn't get a lot of fouls. He does not get a lot of fouls.
And you know what? If I am the Pistons, if I'm Cade Cunningham, something that I liked about him in the All-Star game is he was actually hunting, and against the Knicks, he was hunting their defensive matchups. Yeah, like he would go and then it would be OG and he would be like, okay, cool, yeah, let's back up and let's do this thing. Jeremy Sohan, a couple times he got the pick and roll. It was him. He would back up and say, let's rock. Mikal Bridges a couple times. He saw it was him off the pick and roll. Yeah. I'm hoping that to pull Wemby out of that middle a little bit, that Cade goes and hunts for him because we know that Cade likes to probe to start games off. And maybe if you can get some pick and roll actions, you pull Wemby out of that paint and you get the elite playmaking ability of Cade Cunningham to set up some of his teammates to get them a little bit more comfortable and realize, you know what? We know we respect the type of player he is and what the Spurs are doing this year. But you know what? We know exactly who we are, and they can be more confident in the identity they've set as the best team in the paint.
Yeah, I think the X factor for me, and maybe it's not even an X factor, but it's Duncan Robinson. He's made more threes per game this month, February, than he has all the other months. Okay, he's averaging 3.5 triples per game. He's coming off a game in which he hit 5 threes, all 5 of his field goals made against Chicago. He's got multiple threes in every single game but one this month. If he can keep them honest with that stroke from the wing and top of the key from deep with Duncan Robinson, I think that bodes really, really well for Detroit and the ability to, kind of stretch that defense a little bit more.
Yeah, what I want to see these next 3 games, we've been talking about how good this team is. We've been talking about how good they are on both ends of the court. We're talking about how they've been getting better, how they've been shooting better, taking better shots, etc. OKC is struggling right now, if you will. Maybe that's because, Shai Gilgeous is not playing, Jay Will's not playing, but they're kind of up and down. 2 games ago they had a loss. 5 games ago they had a loss. 9 games ago they had a loss. So they're losing some games in there. You look at Cleveland. Cleveland's trying to figure out who they are. They do not know who they are. James Harden is not doing bad. He's 20 points, 18 points, 16 points. His shooting percentages aren't that bad. But they did lose an OKC team that was undermanned. When I say undermanned, Alex Caruso, who was their next man up, second-team rotation superstar, he didn't play as well. I don't see either of those teams beating the Detroit Pistons at home this week. At least they shouldn't. It should. The only team that should contend is the Spurs.
I don't know, man. I look at Cleveland. They had won 7 in a row.
That's what I am.
Okay, yeah. So they had won 7 in a row before losing to the Thunder. Everybody has that stub your toe moment. You've told us about that before. I think, you and I both agreed, it was 2 weeks ago, that Cleveland is the team that, I don't want to say scares us, but you have to look out for. I still think they are. I actually think they've come together sooner than I thought they would with the trade for James Harden. I'm surprised that they've come together. They've still won 8 of their last 10. Yeah. They've still pulled to within a win of Boston, I believe, in the conference. They're 7.5 back. I don't worry about them trying to catch Detroit by any stretch. But I do, if you happen to split with Cleveland, because they play Cleveland twice over the next 5 games, it sure wouldn't be disappointing to me.
I want to see what it looks like when the lights are bright. James Harden is an individual that he wants the spotlight to be on him when the lights are the brightest. And guess what? When they're playing against the Detroit Pistons, who are number 1 in the East, number 1 in the NBA, the lights are going to be bright. Can he keep deferring to Donovan Mitchell as number 1 to his number 2 or number 3 or whatever? Or does all of a sudden James Harden, Mr. Beard, now I need the ball. Now I'm trying to take you over here. Now I'm ISOing. Now the game's about me and not the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's the game that I'm waiting for because, it's there.
Any of the super chats that we want to make sure we squeeze in here during this conversation? Then we'll hit the Michigan-Duke team battle from Saturday on the other side.
Shout out to LeBarton. He says if you give a mouse a cookie, $4.99 super chat, he's going to ask for a glass of milk.
That's a good little book for kids. It's a really fun book.
This is facts.
Good one.
This is facts.
Yeah. Anything else?
No other super chats, but they've been sending them in. Thank you to the chat family for
Appreciate you guys.
hitting that like button and supporting us with those super chats. I know LeBarton is leading the way in that department today, man. Thank you guys a lot.
Appreciate that very much. Somebody had said you lose this matchup and don't let anyone else beat you on the Spurs. You lose the matchup, in other words, with Victor Wembanyama,
Yep.
right? I mean, you send some guys. Then we'll hit a break. I guess the loss of Isaiah Stewart for me, it's not as much about, well, he was going to be able to control Victor Wembanyama. It's the fouls given. You got 3 guys, who can commit 6 fouls. You don't have to do the math. Now, what are you going to be doing, right? Who's taking Wembanyama? Jalen Duren Wembanyama can pull you out, which creates a vacuum inside for some rebounding. San Antonio's used to that. Detroit maybe not so much. Paul Reed will look at this as the ultimate challenge, and I'm excited to see how they respond to doing it. Aren't all 3 of these games on national TV? Am I wrong there? I think isn't it Prime and then ESPN back to back?
This one for sure.
It might be.
Yeah, I think it is. I don't know how people feel about that. I'm not always crazy about it. I appreciate the national love, but I don't always appreciate the national perspective sometimes. All right, when we come back, a national game that took place in Washington, D.C. over the weekend has Duke at the top of college basketball's rankings. Michigan falls 2 spots to number 3. Not a surprise and not a big concern, I don't think, if you're Michigan. We'll talk about that on the Braylon Edwards Show when we come back after this from our friend Dr. Pierce.
Dr. Pierce, you know who he is. He is the expert injury insight individual that comes over Tuesdays, the Big D Injury, as well as Thursdays on the Braylon Edwards Show with Chef. Trust the guy. We know he shares his top-tier advice on how to keep athletes in peak condition. Also, when guys have injuries, he gets them back the right way, or he gives you the information on how they're going to. Whether you got any types of aches, pains, bruises, anything going on, you're trying to figure out what is the diagnosis, what do I have, do I need surgery, is this what's going on? A lot of times it's a lot simpler than you think, but you got to call the guy that knows it all, and that is Dr. Jeff Pierce, 248-426-9944, or scan the QR code right there.
Buddy's Pizza is celebrating 80 years as the original Detroit-style pizza. There's nothing better. It is my wife's, my mother-in-law's friend is in from out of town, and she wanted to know a little bit about Detroit cuisine. So I told her about Coney's and Buddy's Pizza. And we went out and got one, and by golly, she said, you know what? This is a really good pizza. It takes a lot from somebody from Massachusetts to say that, although she'll say, I'm really from Connecticut. Anyway, Detroit-style pizza. If your next event and you're thinking about catering an event, make sure you contact Buddy's, and they'll give you 20% off your next catering order of $200 or more. Just use the promo code Woodward20 today.
Pistons now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
Like a frostbite straight from the divine. Cold rush on my skin feels so fine. Muscle freeze, it's a ache. No side effects, no mistake. Sub-Zero. Icy and true. Feel the chill. It's all for you. It's not magic, just science play. Chill Sub-Zero.
Home of the steak on a stone. And remember, when you come to Black Rock Bar and Grill, ladies and gentlemen, you are not just coming to a really good bar and grill. You're coming to a top rock experience. Treat yourself on Tuesdays. It takes you Tuesdays, $13.99. Feast on a half a pound of ribs, coconut shrimp, and fries. Or what about Sizzling Thursdays, where you get a 6-ounce sirloin, shrimp scampi, and your choice of soup or salad and a side. Soup or salad and a side for $19.99. Like I said, man, it's not just an experience. It is a top rock experience, and it is home of the steak on the stone.
Guys, let's be honest. We want something simple, like a really good, well-done steak. And I don't mean well done, like I like it medium, but I mean it's just done the right way, right? I mean, obviously, Black Rock does that for you. But we also like things that are really simple and oftentimes uncomplicated. Enter Lady Jane's. It's the perfect place for haircut for men. It's open 7 days a week, 10 till 8. You can walk in anytime, sign in, and you're out the door as quickly as you came in. It is wicked awesome.
Wicked
And
awesome.
we back.
A lot of red flags, man. The
no.
Twins beat the Tigers today 3-0. Oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Over the weekend, we saw Duke beat Michigan, and with the victory by 5,
We don't even have a mascot, man.
Duke is the number 1 team in college basketball. It's not a surprise. They should be. Arizona's number 2. They
lost twice in 1 week.
Yeah, I was just going to say they lost twice in 1 week,
But you know what?
including blowing a 10-point lead. Michigan is number 3. I didn't think they would drop any further than 3, so it's not a huge surprise. And it sure isn't a big reason for concern. What was your takeaway from the Michigan-Duke game?
One, you can't lose on the glass like they did. They lost on the glass. I want to say it's 41-28. Can't lose on the glass like that, including that rebound. Oh my God, what's his name? Ngagba. I got that big rebound right in the last minute and 30 seconds. It kind of sealed the deal for Duke in terms of winning the game. But at the end of the day, man, look, they shot bad from three-point range. They didn't get rebounds like they were supposed to, and then nobody helped Yaks as it relates to on the offensive side of the ball. When you play like that, you can't beat one of the better teams and now the best team in the country, at least as it relates to record. With that being said, I don't mind going into this game, Shep. This is exactly what I told my dad. I didn't know it was going to be us that lost, but I still share the same sentiments. I wouldn't want to play the team that loses this game.
I said the same thing.
I said I wouldn't want to play the team that loses this game. I thought it was going to be Duke. It ended up being Michigan. They haven't necessarily shot great all year from three-point range, better in the last month, but they went back to what they did early in the season from three-ball range, and then they just couldn't get half-court offense going. And the biggest thing for me, Shep, is they all season long, they've done a good job of keep the pace of the game. They've dictated pace in most games. They started out fast, or even when starting slow, they still stayed within their version of how they play, their style of play. Felt like early on in that game, Duke was able to control the pace, and they started trying to follow Duke's pace. Even when they were winning, they still were winning, playing, I think, an elevated pace, and Duke eventually settled in. So I'm excited that we got that loss out the way before we play Michigan State, as well as the Big Ten tournament and the NCAA tournament, and that's where I'm at with
It's amazing how evenly matched the two teams were.
Yeah.
Both teams took 55 shots, okay? Both teams made 6 threes. Both teams got to the line. Well, Duke went there 17 times, Michigan 18 times. To Braylon's point, Duke owned the glass 41-28.
Yeah.
Duke had 11 turns. Michigan took good care of the basketball. They only had 7 turnovers. That's a big deal. But it's a team that also, and we've said this before, if you're going to take that many threes, you got to make them, okay? So shooting 24% from 3, doesn't matter if you're playing Duke or whomever, that ain't cutting it, all right? Now, we said last week that I think Michigan's going to lose again. It's going to be either Duke or Illinois, all right? We said Michigan State will be a tussle, but, it's at home, and not that that's the be-all, end-all, but they took care of business against MSU, and the Spartans have their own shooting troubles. You almost feel bad for Minnesota because that's who Michigan plays next. And Michigan is going to open up a can on the Gophers. All right? I mean, considering what they've learned from this situation, they're going to go out there, and at home, they are going to wow the crowd and just, I would guess, blow out Minnesota.
Also, too, it's not that much to me.
They gotta beat that ass.
Shout out to Sweet Potato. Also, too, man, in losses like this, look, they played a team that was number 3 in the country, and they got a player that could be number 1 in the draft, no less than number 3 in Cam Boozer. Well coached, well played, hard fought, whole 9 yards. Like, there's not much negative that you take in losing, negative in settling for the 3, negative in the effort that you put on the rebounding side of things. But it's not one of those ones, oh my God, they got You know what? At the end of the day, they got beat by a team that just came out, made more shots, they got more rebounds, and they did the things necessary to win in the clutch.
There is no doubt that both these teams are going to be number 1 seeds.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Duke's going to be a 1 seed. Michigan's going to be a 1 seed. Arizona's going to be a 1 seed. I don't know who the other 1 seed's going to be. I don't know if it's Iowa State. I don't know if it's Houston. I don't know if it's UConn. But Michigan and Duke are going to be 1 seeds because neither one of them is going to go in the toilet. It's not like Michigan's going to lose to Minnesota and Iowa and Illinois and Michigan State.
Does the overall, and Chef, this would be a question for you. Does the overall number 1 seed in the tournament, do they – what was the question?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. I was going to ask, like, is that region set up different?
Yeah.
Like, if you get the number 1 overall ranking, is like, okay, we'll give you a couple cupcakes here or there.
You would think.
Okay.
But that's not always the case. I think the bigger problem is Duke's going to get, it seems like every year this is the case, they're going to Greensboro.
Gotcha.
Like, they're going in their backyard.
They're right down the street.
And that doesn't happen, whether it's Michigan State, or a Big Ten school. They may have to go to Chicago, right, or somewhere like that. I don't even know where the regionals are.
Indiana would be the only, but it's never in Indianapolis. Like in the University of Indiana, like the regionals are never in that town. It's usually like the Final Four and the Sweet 16.
Right, but we're looking at Greensboro for Duke. I mean, those guys. Hey, we're not ordering buses today, guys. You can drive your cars there. Is that cool? Okay, great. Thank you. We'll see you at the hotel at 6. It's a big difference.
Yeah, that's one of those things. Like, it's been existed for a long time, though.
I know, but but that was kind of my point. My point was not that Michigan would go there, and I'm going to look up where the regionals are in the various NCAA tournament bracket this year, find out where those regions are. But it just seems like Duke is always almost at home, and if it's not Duke, it's North Carolina. You know what I mean? All right, good stuff. Let's shift gears. Football-wise, you had a very entertaining video for us. I want you to share regarding the New York Jets.
I did. New York Jets put out a video for my birthday, and they
say it's your birthday.
You know what I'm saying? It said it was my birthday, and they labeled it the top 5 plays. Braylon Edwards is a Jet. So we got the video. We'll throw that up, and the combine actually starts today.
Yeah, they sign up today. Sign up today. No activities, right. The activities are tomorrow. We're going to dive into that tomorrow. Want Bray's numbers from his combine for whatever he did.
Yeah.
And there's more and more guys working out at their schools, and I get that. I understand that. I'd love your thoughts on why is the combine even necessary anymore, but we can do that tomorrow because we're running up against it today. Let's get to your birthday video, courtesy of the New York Jets. Shout out to the Jets for thinking of you. Well done. Okay,
they just do it right.
Yeah, they do. I mean, that's a really cool thing.
They just typically do it.
And yet you're wearing your Seattle Seahawks coat. I was going to say it was more of a Jets coat. And considering what they did for you, I give you a lot of credit, and I give them a lot of credit.
I'm still fired to see you on that NFL draft stage, Bray, with the Jets bringing them out there. That was so dope.
That was dope. That was fire. That was all of it.
Set it up, Sweet Potatoes.
All right, we got your levels.
Sweet Potato, you got the levels?
Yeah, we got your levels, Bray.
Are we locked in, ladies and gentlemen? All right, let's have some fun. Here we go. All right, this is play 1 on play 5 on the top 5 that they made for this past Saturday. This would have been my first year as a Jet. This was after the trade. Played the Atlanta Falcons, and this was a little bunch split right here. You got your boy Be Easy in a bunch formation. Jericho Cotchery right here. If you can see it right there, I know it's a little grainy. You know what I'm saying? I know it's a little.
So you're on the inside. You're closest to the hash.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm in the back. I'm off the ball.
Oh, okay. So you're outside, just inside the numbers. Gotcha.
Here we go. Mark Sanchez. Let's get it rocking and rolling. What we got? First quarter, Atlanta up 3, 1st and 10. So you know this was called on the sideline. Mark gives it all he's got. Shout out to Mark Sanchez.
Holy cow! Look at the separation.
Go back.
Let's rock.
Rewind that back. Let's see the air travel Because a lot of people don't give Mark Sanchez something, include me. Here we go. What's the yardage on this one?
So he's at the 27.
Yep.
28. Okay. Lets it fly from the 28. And that goes all the way to the opposing team's 16-yard line.
16, yeah.
That's a big ball.
Okay.
That's downfield.
Way to bring that in, though.
I would agree with that.
All
Yeah.
right, now let's go back to the separation stuff talking about. Look at this. Look at this.
That's 2 yards, bud.
25, 2 yards. And this is Allen Rawson, who, if you remember, Allen Rawson was one of the NFL's fastest man. I digress. He's trying to give. That's a hell of a throwback. Mark puts the ball right here. Hands catch. Look at the ref. Shout out to the ref. Look at him trying to big play on that one. And Chef, you like this part right here? You see it high and tight?
Yep.
The whole way, high and tight.
Oh, look at into your hands.
Get a little rewind on that camera.
Look at into your hands.
This is what they tell you. This is what Amon-Ra St. Brown is doing on a day-to-day basis. Watching it into the hands. Watching it all the way into the hand. All right.
What do you think Allen Rawson was saying as soon as he flew by him?
Damn, that was dope.
No, he was saying, "Oh, blankety blank blank." Yeah.
Look at that, all the way to the tuck. That is textbook. Then you put the ball to the tuck. That way you got a guy coming out behind you. See, you stick out touchdown. Now hit pause on this next play. On the next play when it starts. This is against the Miami Dolphins. It's my very first game as a Jet. It's Monday Night Football. Fun fact: this is October 4th, October 3rd, whatever it was.
Okay.
What do you think the temperature was this night? This is a night game.
In Tampa?
October in Miami.
Or Miami,
Same
excuse me.
same.
Yeah, Florida. I would guess it's somewhere in October. You said, or November?
October. Heat index.
All right, I'll say somewhere in the 50s, 60s.
In October?
Yeah, in Miami.
82.
Huh?
82 degrees.
What do you have, Kool-Aid?
At night?
Yep.
At night, good 77, 76.
I thought it was in the 60s.
Heat index this game was 93.
93.
Oh, my goodness. Man, was I way off?
93 at kickoff was this game. Like, legitimately. Our uniforms.
I thought I was elevating it a little bit.
That's sweat.
That's sweat.
Wow.
I had to change my whole get up after the first quarter.
Really?
After the first quarter, I went to change my jersey. I went to change my undershirt. And at halftime, I changed my pants and socks. Like, it was miserable.
In October. Okay.
But here we go. I digress. So in the huddle on this play, Chef, you notice it's 3rd and 22.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth quarter, we're down.
It's not exactly the situation you want to be in on 3rd and 22.
100, especially not with us, because we weren't passing team. We're running team. This is nonsense for us. Down 4 points. In this huddle, Mark's trying to get the play out.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Mangold, rest in peace, was trying to calm everybody down. Thomas Jones, who was our starting running back at the time, he's yelling at people. Tony Richardson, who should be in the Hall of Fame as a fullback, he's yelling at people. Alan Faneca, who also should be in the Hall of Fame, huge dude, he's yelling at everybody. This is my first game. You know what I said? Hey, look, shut up. Sorry. Stole me the ball, catch it, we'll get a touchdown, we'll get off the field. Like, I'm not.
That's what you said? Throw me the ball?
Exactly what I said.
Wow.
And you'll notice.
That's cool.
Watch the excitement level of everybody on the team after the catch. You'll see that story, it checks out.
All right.
So hit play. Mark throws in cover 2. Vontae, dang, he's gone too. Right?
Wow, what a catch.
Ooh.
Holy crap.
So this is, wait. Now look, just look at the excitement. Look at this. Look at this. Look at linemen don't run like that. Look at Alex Manning. Look at Nick Mango. Like
DeBricka Ferguson. Is that DeBricka?
Yeah,
Is that DeBricka? Okay.
The reason why they're like that, because that's exactly what happened in the huddle. I told them, shut up and throw me the ball. And then they cheated me on this play, though. So this should have been a touchdown. That's what it was called on the field.
That's absolutely a touchdown.
Ref called me down at the 1. That would have been 2 catches.
Haters, man.
In my first
I
game.
tell you what, if you got instant replay back then, that's a tutty.
Oh, yeah. First of all, Chef, I ain't that, though. That was instant replay. Pipe down. Pipe down.
Well, answer me this. How do you miss that?
Because it's the NFL.
Okay, well,
No, to your point.
that's messed up. That's an obvious touchdown.
I appreciate that. That would have took me
All right.
41 career.
Number 3.
So here we go. Fourth quarter, 24 seconds left in the game. A team we had no business being as close to because the Texans were not good at all this year, but any given Sunday. 50-yard line,
Mm-hmm.
Let's give it a go. We got 7 across the board. They're playing zone. Mark heaves another one.
Good protection.
Effort, beautiful ball at the same time. Bing.
Ooh.
Dang.
Yeah.
You didn't even
Squeeze that
care
in
about
there.
the footsteps.
Dude, that's a dangerous throw right there. That's a nice grab.
And the safety over top. Brady didn't flinch.
His fans going crazy. How did I not score? How did I not score?
That guy come over the top.
I tripped. Who does this? This is a chance to win a game. This is stuff you dream about, Shep. There's 10 seconds left on the clock. Quarterback drops back. Wide receiver catches and gets in the end zone, wins the game. Instead, I catch the ball. I trip because I'm goofy. I still get out of bounds.
Well, yeah.
And then we come. Hold on, Shep. Relax.
I'm defending you. I mean,
But you don't have to defend me to me.
But you had a guy hit you on the hip.
But that bullshit thing, I should have got in zone. Realistically, what happened on that play, now the next play, we go double slants. I'm like, well, I'll get the touchdown back here because I'm wide open. Sold the route. DB thinks I'm running fade. I'm wide open. And I'm wide open to watch San Antonio home. Catch the touchdown to win the game. So, it's effing Buckeyes. All right, here we go. You guys have seen this play with Short again. This is against the Patriots in the AFC Divisional. Right before the quarter, right before the half. Rory up 7. 3 on the wing. We hit play. Rest is history. Sometimes you just want to make a play. Catch the ball first. If you catch the ball first, things can happen. Caught the ball first, then ish happened. DB's playing inside leverage. Give him a hard move. Take away his leverage. Spin move. It's over.
Well, you stayed on your feet that time.
Yeah, I'm right. I learned from the year before.
I need
I
that.
learned that they're going to give the play a tone if I don't score first. So, shout out. And then this was us playing the Colts. We lost to the Colts the year before in the AFC Championship game.
That's the fourth down. Oh no, that's second down.
20
Okay,
seconds left.
that's right. Yeah, fourth quarter.
Notice when a lot of these plays happen.
Yeah,
They happen in
late in the game. Yeah, late in the game. I thought the catch against Miami was the best of the 5.
Yeah, that catch against Miami was like insane.
Yeah, where you should have scored the touchdown. That was really special. I would rank them number 4 first.
Yeah.
That pocket throw where you get hit on the hip, that's a hell of a throw and a hell of a catch. Yeah, it really was.
Everybody in the chat that were New York Jets fans, they asked, where was the 80-yard touchdown against the Colts in playoffs? I was like, I didn't make the list.
Didn't make the list.
I didn't make the list. So shout out to the Jets, man.
Yeah, shout out to the Jets. Good for them. That's really cool that they do that. I mean, that's how you treat people. In case people were wondering, the preliminary round sites for the NCAA that we were talking about just before those fantastic highlights, obviously Dayton, Buffalo, Greenville, South Carolina. That's probably where Duke is going.
Okay.
Oklahoma City, Portland, Oregon, Tampa, Florida, Philadelphia, PA, San Diego, St. Louis, Houston, San Jose, Washington, D.C., and hello, Chicago.
Chicago or St. Louis.
So Michigan, in all likelihood, will be the Midwest region number 1. They'll go to Chicago, would be my guess.
Yeah.
My guess would be Duke would be headed to Greenville, South Carolina, and Arizona, at least Arizona, would be, what do you think? Would it be San Diego or Houston? It'd be one of the
Diego.
San Diego?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you've got, like I said, whomever else. All right. If it's Houston, if Houston's the 4, they're going home.
Yeah.
They're staying home. That'd be a hell of a. That's why some of these are pretty important to get those certain seeds when it comes to certain teams. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, tomorrow's going to be a fun conversation because outside of just talking about kind of like the experience of the NFL Combine, what players are thinking about, what the start is. Because to be honest, it's really just this, Shep. This is just a preface for tomorrow's conversation. It's how can you operate in chaos? Like, that's what I looked at the NFL Combine experience. How can you handle the chaos? And that's what we'll talk more about tomorrow. But also,
yeah, I'm looking forward to those conversations. What
Lions,
made you take
what are
it?
they looking for?
Yeah, and what are they looking for? But what was going through your mind? Why did you do certain events and not certain events? How did you prepare for it? It's going to be a really educational piece and an educational conversation on the Braylon Edwards Show tomorrow. Kool-Aid, do we want to squeeze anything else in before we're out of here? And make sure we're pumping your tires for your Pistons coverage tonight, please.
Hey, definitely, man. You know, we do have the post-game show. Platty and I will be going live right after the press conference. You guys already know, tap in. We'll be live for at least about an hour and a half, talking about the game and really answering any of the questions that you guys have. And LaBartney sent in a couple $4.99 super chats as well. he wanted to let KG know that he rocks and that he got him a Trump and McMahon chair, because I know that he's a fan of wrestling.
Yeah.
Wonder how much he's gonna be a fan of that chair. But
hit him with it.
Also says he appreciates WSN, Shep, and Bray.
Well, thank you.
I appreciate
That's very
that,
kind
man.
of you.
Thank you
You're
so
very
much.
nice, and we always appreciate you as well.
Shep with the top billing.
I don't know if I go quite that far. Shep looks like he is in the same age as Braylon in that picture. Well, that's not a picture of either one of us. Maybe the one before.
You're talking about the...
right there. Yeah. We're not.
Same
We're not in the
age.
same. But I wish I looked like that. I would much rather look like the AI version than the in-person version. But thank you for noticing. I want to
Good
thank
compliment.
You yeah, it is. It's a great compliment right there. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. Look, we don't do this. I mean, I don't care if you're talking about Neil and Darren, or you're talking about Sean in the morning, or you're talking about the heavyweights that are coming up at 5 o'clock. None of us do this without you guys. You guys are so cool, so fantastic. It's been such an honor for us to get to know you, and it's great to have the conversations. You help us with the conversations. Your chats help this show. Remember that. Always remember it. And we will continue to have that. Oh, by the way.
You see that?
Yeah, ESPN's basketball coverage. They're talking about the 2028 Olympic team.
Who's starting?
The starts, they've got Cunningham, Edwards, Brown, Tatum, and Duren.
Ooh.
Of course, the guy who never smiles, talks monotone, and, oftentimes is drunk on the show, is suggesting certain things to his female co-anchors. What?
Is that starting five enough? Like, it's a damn good starting five, but then it's like, is that the starting five you're taking to the world?
Yeah, so you have... We don't believe in the 1, 2, 3, 4s anymore, right?
No.
In basketball. But if you were, it would be, I want Cunningham handling the basketball.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown is the 2. Anthony Edwards is the 3.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum's the 4, and Jalen Duren is the 5.
Okay.
That's the way I looked at it anyway. Are they good enough at those positions? The answer to me would be yes.
I like it.
I like it a lot. All right? I would say this, though. That's 2028. I love Jalen Duren. I would like him to get his offensive game to grow a little bit more. He's got 2 years to grow it that much more and become more of an offensive threat.
The best thing about that is Team USA, after getting their butt whooped in 2004, they don't play any games about those competition levels, and that starts this summer.
Yeah. The other thing I love about that, each one of those guys, especially the Detroiters, seem like they're really flipping hungry all the time. Sort of like me when I talk about buddies. We're back with you tomorrow. 2 o'clock here on the Braylon Edwards Show. Have a great Monday, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Looking for your daily sports fix? Look no further. Join Braylon Edwards, the University of Michigan legend.
Lofting it right corner of the end zone for Braylon, up in the air. Touchdown, Michigan!
And Shep.
Do you believe this comeback?
Your favorite sports commentator as they tackle the hottest topics in the world of sports. Catch the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep, Monday through Friday from 2 to 4 p.m. on the Woodward Sports Network. Get ready to laugh, learn, and love sports like never before.